Hey guys, what's up? So you might know that Samsung has unveiled the successor to the M51, which was one of the best M series phones, the Galaxy M52 5G. And in this video, we are going to unbox it and answer some questions that you guys had about this device. But first, let's unbox the device and take a look. So the phone comes in this typical Samsung white box, which has the phone printed on the front under the Galaxy M52 5G branding and the Samsung logo on the bottom. You also get the M52 branding on the left side of the box. The back and the right side is left completely blank. Now let's quickly cut open the seal and check out what we get inside the box. Opening the lid, and the first thing we get is the phone itself wrapped in its protective plastic. We will keep that to the side for the time being, and let's see what else we get inside the box. So the next thing is the 15-watt charger and the USB Type-C cable. Now this phone supports 25-watt charging, but Samsung only gives you a 15-watt charger in the box, which is a pity considering you don't get anything else inside the box. I think the least they could have done is giving you a 25-watt charger in the box, but Samsung being Samsung still ships 15-watt chargers in 2021. Anyway, there's also a box that holds the SIM ejector tool and some paperwork. It has a weird depth to it and feels like Samsung intended to give you a case in it, but decided not to at the last moment. So that's everything you get with the phone. And now let's focus our attention on the M52 and take it out of its protective plastic. Now that I'm holding the phone, it feels very light to hold, which could be due to the complete plastic build. And this is the cheap plastic that they've used here and not the matte one that you see on their premium phones. So it doesn't feel very nice to hold in the hand. It doesn't give you that premium feeling when you have it in your hands. So that is a con. But apart from that, the weight distribution is also good. So you don't feel like you're holding a phone with a 5000 mAh battery inside, which is a nice thing. Plus it is very slim at 7.4 mm. So the overall usability is very good, but the quality of the materials used is average. Now this could have passed as a compact phone if it had a smaller display, but it gets a large 6.7-inch AMOLED display. So it's not for someone who likes slim and compact devices, and if you want one, maybe look at the Xiaomi 11 Lite NE 5G. Since we are talking about the display, let me tell you that this is a very good Full HD Plus AMOLED panel that also comes with a 120Hz refresh rate and a 240Hz touch sampling rate. Samsung's AMOLED panels are always good, and this one is no exception. You get good punchy colors, viewing angles, and deep inky blacks. Plus there's no shift in colors when viewing from off angles, so yeah, it's a good display. Also there's support for wideband L1 and HDR, so you can watch HD movies on Prime and Netflix. However, HDR only plays on YouTube, so that is a disappointment, but the quality is good nonetheless. And I think you will enjoy watching videos and movies on this display without any issues. One gripe that I have with the display is that the peak brightness is only 800 nits, so it doesn't look too bright on the highest brightness level. However, the competition also gets the same peak brightness. That being said, I did not face any issues with viewing the display in bright outdoor conditions. Also, there's no issue with the screen flickering at low brightness levels, or I haven't noticed anything as such in my week of usage. Now, though the display is one of the most important aspects of multimedia consumption, but it isn't the only one, with audio also playing a significant part to enhance the experience. And in that department, we see a slight letdown here as there are no stereo speakers and you only get a mono speaker at the bottom, which isn't the loudest. Also, you don't get a 3.5mm headphone jack, so you won't be able to plug in your wired headphones. But I think that is fine as most people have moved on to wireless audio anyway. So it doesn't matter that much, but having stereo speakers does have its advantages and makes the movie watching experience that much more immersive, especially on this large display. Coming to the cameras, and we have a triple camera setup at the back, but it is more of a dual camera setup with a 64 megapixel primary, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and a mostly useless 5 megapixel macro. I would have been happier to see OIS instead of that macro camera, but hey, I'm not the one making decisions for Samsung. Moving on to the picture quality, and I would say I like the output from the main camera. It's sharp and it has got plenty of details with good dynamic range. The color reproduction is mostly accurate with a slight boost in colors as you would expect from a Samsung phone, and it does it in a very pleasing way which looks good, and most people actually prefer Samsung colors. So yes, you would be happy with the pictures taken with this camera in daylight. I haven't clicked a lot of samples at night, but the ones I did turn out to be okay. The photos at night have less detail and noise, but then that's what you expect from a mid-range phone anyway. Night mode does help and brings in a lot of light, but the photos still aren't as sharp and noise still will be there. Plus you have to have stable hands while clicking the photos or they might turn out blurry. Moving on to the ultra wide camera, and here I feel that it does a pretty good job in daylight as well. Being a 12 megapixel sensor, it captures a lot more detail than a lot of those 8 megapixel sensors in this price range and even above. However, the photos still don't look as sharp as say from a 12 megapixel primary, which would be due to the wider scene that it captures. That being said, it still manages to capture good colors with good dynamic range, and I would say it is a better ultra wide camera than most of the phones in this price range. You can't expect to capture amazing shots with this camera at night though, as the images are very soft and lack detail. However, with night mode on, it does manage to capture decent looking shots. Coming to the video, so the phone can record videos at Full HD 30 and 60 frames per second from the main camera along with 4K at 30, but unfortunately it can't record 4K at 60 frames per second from the main camera. The quality of the video the phone shoots is good though, with good details, color and dynamic range just like the photos. However, the stabilization leaves a lot to be desired, as you can see in the samples I am showing you right now on the screen. You do have the option for Super Steady, but that uses the ultra wide camera instead of the main camera, and hence the quality is inferior. It lacks details and isn't as sharp. So I would suggest you enable Super Steady only when you really need it. Other than that, the autofocus is really fast and accurate. Even the 2x mode is good enough and can prove to be useful at situations where you can't physically get closer to the subject. Coming to the selfie camera, so the phone gets a 32 megapixel selfie camera in this punch hole, which isn't the tiniest I've seen. The camera sensor isn't as big, but there is a black circular bar around it, which makes it look a lot bigger than it actually is. Anyway, if we talk about the picture quality, then the selfies captured with the phone turned out to be of good quality with good colors, dynamic range, skin tones and details. You also get the Samsung feature where the front-facing camera can capture a slightly wider shot, which can prove to be handy at times. Nighttime selfies turned out okay as well, with the night mode helping there as well. So overall, I am happy with the camera experience so far, and I think it has got one of the best cameras for the price. Now the phone comes with One UI 3.1 based on Android 11 out of the box, and this is the full One UI that you get on this phone and not the One UI Core. You get all the Samsung features like Samsung Pay, Knox Security, AllZ, Secure Folder, etc. Plus you also get NFC, which makes using Samsung Pay a good experience. Now you don't get a lot of ads in the UI or anything like that. Samsung has removed ads from a lot of their apps. But one thing that I didn't like is that there is some bloatware on the device. Apps like Facebook, Netflix, Spotify, Snapchat, Amazon and Prime Video come pre-installed on the device, which I guess is fine because many people would download them anyway. But you also get apps like Byju's, Daily Hunt, Josh, PhonePe, ShareChat and Moj, which if you open even once would start to give you a lot of notifications and you would be pissed off really soon. It's not that bad since you can uninstall the apps that you don't like, but these shouldn't be put on a 25,000 rupees phone anyway. And this is not just Samsung, a lot of other brands also do this and it should stop. Now the other thing is that by default Samsung will activate Glance on Samsung service that puts out stories and wallpapers on the lock screen, which I did not like. It feels a lot like a Xiaomi or a Realme phone in that regard that it does it. But to be honest, it's not too bad as of now with just random wallpapers being displayed every time you double tap the screen. But it can get pretty annoying down the road and I don't like the fact that it's there. Plus you can't skip this during the setup as well, you have to agree to use the service. Anyway, if you don't like the service, then you can just head to the settings and disable it. Apart from this, I did not find anything wrong with the UI. In fact, One UI is one of my favorite skins on Android. I did not notice any stutter or lag in the UI during my usage and I have kept the phone on 120Hz. So yes, the UI is one of the best on the Android side of things. I just wish that Samsung stops putting bloatware and terminates Glance on Samsung service. Apart from that, I am happy with the performance. Now Samsung hasn't specified how long they will support the phone in terms of updates, but seeing the recent history that Samsung has in terms of software updates, I think it should easily get 2 years of updates and 3 years of security patches, which is similar to what other manufacturers provide, so that is fine. Xiaomi has promised 3 years of Android updates on the 11 Lite NE 5G, but we will have to see how that goes, especially since Xiaomi doesn't have a very good track record with Android updates. Since we spoke of performance, let's talk about the specs. So the phone is powered by the new mid-range favorite SoC from Qualcomm, the octa-core Snapdragon 778G that also comes with 5G. It also gets UFS 2.1 storage. A lot of people were confused between UFS and eMMC storage. So yes, this has UFS storage, and I don't think you should be worried about the performance that much if you are a normal user and don't game a lot. Snapdragon 778 doesn't break a sweat in normal day-to-day tasks, and everything from opening apps to switching between them feels smooth and fast. There is no issue with the memory management either, and you won't find any lags or hiccups throughout the interface. The only thing is that Samsung phones don't game very well, so if you're looking for a gaming phone, then you should probably look elsewhere. For non-gamers, I think it performs well and you should not face any performance issues. Now coming to the battery and charging, so this phone gets a 5000 mAh battery and it supports 25 watts of fast charging, but you only get a 15 watt charger in the box, as I said earlier, which is a bummer. I mean, this phone doesn't get a good build quality, it doesn't give you a case in the box, and yet they did not provide a 25 watt charger in the box, which is anyway slower than the competition. Sometimes I just fail to understand Samsung. Now coming to the actual battery life on the phone, so in my initial usage, I have charged the phone once in 3 days and have got a screen on time of around 5 hours 45 minutes with 19% still left in the tank. So I think it could have easily given an hour or so of screen on time, taking the total to 6 to 7 hours of screen on time, which is good battery life in my opinion. I will reserve my comments for the full review, but the initial impressions are good, except that the phone takes around an hour and 45 minutes to fully charge the 5000 mAh battery with the inbox charger. The haptics on the phone is okayish. I feel it's nothing extraordinary, but gets the job done and is not the best in the segment. I think they could have used a better vibration motor. Coming to the fingerprint sensor, so apart from the fact that it's a side mounted unit, I did not find anything wrong with it. It's fast and accurate, and I don't think you will face any issues with it. Now if you talk about the cell networks and call quality, then this phone has got support for 5G and it comes with 11 5G bands, so you should be covered in that regard. The call quality is good with the earpiece being loud and clear. Also the speakerphone is also loud enough for picking up calls. A lot of people were asking if the speakerphone was loud enough, so yeah, it is loud. Also this uses Samsung's Dialer and Messages app, so you can record calls without the other person getting notified of the call being recorded. The phone also supports carrier aggregation. I was able to get LTE Plus on the phone, so you should not face any issues with that either. However, you won't be able to use dual 5G, so you can't use 5G on both the SIMs at the same time. Only one SIM can use 5G, while the other would need to be on a 4G network. Now let's discuss the price of the smartphone. So the phone is launched at 25,999 for the 6/128GB variant, but you also get a 1000 rupees Amazon coupon during the ongoing sale and some bank offers which can bring down the cost to 23,750. At that price, you get a lot of Snapdragon 770AG phones such as the Realme GT Master Edition, which is on sale right now, and you can get it for around 21,749, or the iQOO Z5 for 21,250, or even the Xiaomi 11 Lite NE5G that can be yours for 23,750. Among these phones, I think the NE5G is the overall best phone, while you can get the M52 5G if you really want a Samsung phone with access to features like Samsung Pay, Knox Security, AllZ, and more, along with an overall better camera setup. So that's it for this video. Do let me know what do you think about the Galaxy M52 5G in the comment section, and do let me know if you have any questions about the phone. I will try to answer them in my full review. I'll see you all in the next one. Till then, bye bye and stay safe.